Welcome to the Empowered Slacker Society, where we believe in working smarter, not harder, so you have more time and energy for the things that truly matter. Each week, we share a powerful strategy with a new guest expert to help you achieve more with less effort. If you want to get these weekly tips, subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast, and be sure to sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Everything is linked below. Let's get into this week's tip.
Hello, Empowered Slacker Society. I am so glad to be with you this week. My name is Karen McClure, and this week I'm presenting the hack of the week, which is the one thing you should do if you only have 5 minutes a day. First of all, my name is Karen McClure. I'm a certified life coach. I'm also a lawyer, and I have two kids. At the time of this recording, they're 11 and 14. Um, I'm a life coach who works primarily with working moms who are struggling with mom guilt. And I have been a working mom, well, for 14 years, and I'm an entrepreneur. And this hack to me has been really the foundation of it all. So I'm so excited to share it with you. So, the one thing you should do if you only have 5 minutes a day is sit in 5 minutes of silence. And I'm actually going to even go a little bit further as to say you can do this for 1 minute a day or 2 minutes a day. And in fact, later on, I'm going to practice with you for about 2 minutes. But we talk about meditation and silence and things like that. And I want to talk to y'all about why this is so impactful, some obstacles that may come up, and then I'm going to give you some tips when those obstacles come up. And then, like I said, we're going to try it together or we're going to practice it together. Okay. So, why silence? Before I get down to these points, I want to share with you guys an experience that I literally had today. So here's the deal. I have had a pretty crappy week, and today I woke up feeling completely unmotivated. I was just like exhausted and overwhelmed, and I didn't want to do anything. And my mind was like here, there, and everywhere. And then I realized that I have not given myself the time this week to actually practice 5 minutes of silence. So I sat down, I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb. I set a timer for 5 minutes, and that was it. Right now, after that 5 minutes, I was able really to focus and figure out okay, this is what I can do today. And then I was actually pretty productive today. So it works. It really does work. And I wanted to share that with y'all because I know a lot of us think that we have so much shit to do that we just don't take the time to take care of ourselves. But taking care of yourself is foundational, it is crucial to being successful in business, period, exclamation mark. All right. So, why silence? So, the main thing that, or the first thing is that we all need a break. We need a break from work. We need a break from family. We need a break from all the distractions. We need a break. Okay. We're not really giving ourselves the time we need when we're scrolling Instagram, watching YouTube or Netflix. Our brains are still going. Okay. So, taking these couple of minutes to sit silently allows our brain to settle. I like to think about a water bottle that you put sand into and you shake it up, and the sand is everywhere. And that's kind of like what our minds are doing. It's everywhere. And then we put the bottle down on our desk and you can watch it settle, right? The sand floats gently to the bottom. And that's kind of what I think happens in our brain and frankly in our body when we take these couple of minutes to meditate. Okay, and then the next reason why is because it calms your nervous system. So along those same lines, we also have a series of nerves in our body, the vagus nerves. They run from top to bottom. They're attached to the lungs and they go through the gut as well. So when you're actually taking the time to breathe and breathe slowly and steadily, it signals our body that it's time to calm down. And you know that when you're calm, you can actually focus more. There's science behind that too, but I don't have time to get into it today. Um, we worry less. We learn not to get as distracted by the stuff that's going on. So we're sitting in 5 minutes of silence, and even though we're thinking the whole time, we can direct our minds back to the breath or whatever we're focusing on in those 5 minutes, right? We have about 60,000 thoughts a day. And we have a tendency to let those kind of run the show and lead us around. And when we're practicing this skill of 5 minutes of silence, we're learning to not let ourselves get as distracted. And then we can translate that into the rest of our lives. Um, so we're managing our thoughts. And I kind of talked about this in the last point, but really I want to bring it home because, thinking about letting the thoughts run the show, what would happen if we let all 60,000 of those thoughts run the show? We'd be like the dog in Up when he saw the squirrel. It's like you can't focus on what you need to focus on. So we're learning to manage our mind. We're learning that maybe the inner critical thoughts and the negative stuff that we're thinking about ourselves or our work or our whatever, maybe it's not that bad. We're learning that thoughts are actually just neutral and we don't have to listen to it all the time. And then the last reason that we want to practice this, and one that I think is amazing for entrepreneurs, is that it helps us be more creative. Okay. So when we are resting our minds and when we're not just spinning or focusing or just doing everything in the world, that's when the creativity starts happening. It's like when you're in the shower and that's when you get your best ideas. It's kind of like that. Okay. So, um, take a break, calm down, worry less, manage thoughts, more creativity. Who doesn't want that? So, now I want to talk about some obstacles and some tips to help you overcome those. So, by far, the excuse that people make the most as to why they can't or don't want to sit in silence is that they don't have time. I don't have time to meditate. It takes too long. Or we procrastinate. Like, I have so much stuff to do, I'll just do it later. No, you won't. No, you won't. We want to make this a priority in our lives. We want to build a habit, which is why we're only doing about 2 to 5 minutes, right? That overcomes the obstacle when we say we don't have time because you do have 2 to 5 minutes. When I used to work, before I worked from home, I used to stop on my way to work and just pull off the road somewhere where I knew I was safe and I'd sit for 5 minutes. So we can make time to do that, but we want to make it just part of our day or part of our habit. And we don't build habits, in big chunks. You do it a little bit at a time and then you build the momentum. And then we have some other obstacles that get in the way that are mostly mindset, right? I'm not good at it. It's boring. My mind wanders too much. It doesn't work for me. I don't see a benefit of it, or I don't believe in it. We can reframe all of those thoughts so that they actually work. Because look, I'm not good at it. If this is something that you've never done, you're never good at something right away. And I've been struggling with my teenager forever to teach him that, but he hasn't learned it yet either. So I know it's hard. It's a hard lesson, but we're learning. We're learning a new skill. So give yourself some grace and be patient. My mind wanders. So I talked about how many thoughts we have a day. All of our minds are going to be wandering, but then we get to be the boss, right? And we get to say, I am going to redirect you. We're not going to think about that right now. Come back to the breath. Okay. So those are just a couple of tips that I have. And now we're going to do a short practice together. So if you are in the car, don't do this. Pause it. Maybe pull off the side of the road if you can, or do it later. And what we're going to do is, if you feel comfortable, we're going to close our eyes. And we're just going to start to pay attention to how our bodies feel. How many times during the day do you pay attention to your body? So, how does your head feel? How do your shoulders feel? We're paying attention to our arms, our chest, back, and stomach, our legs, and our feet. We are just noticing how we feel and what's coming up in this moment. And then, once we have a picture of how the body feels, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the breath. Where do you feel the breath most prominently? Do you feel it in the chest, rising and falling? Do you feel the air coming in and out through the nose? Maybe somewhere else. And as the thoughts start to come up, maybe you're thinking, this sucks, or thinking about what you're going to do after this is over, or what you're having for dinner or something. Just bring the thoughts or bring your mind back to the breath. And this is the practice. We just remember to come back to the breath over and over. And then as you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the space around you. And just kind of notice how we feel, right? Just notice how the body feels. Notice how your mind feels. Maybe you're a little bit settled, or maybe not. Maybe something else is coming up. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no problem there. And before I leave you, I do have a free gift for you. It's a 7-day challenge. So we're doing 7 days of 5 minutes a day. You can get it at KarenMcClure.com/5, spelled out FIVE -minute challenge. And it's going to be a worksheet that gives you some prompts to help you with your 5 minutes a day. And then I will also be emailing you some tips and pointers. So I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you later.
We hope you enjoyed this Slacker hack of the week. Remember, smart work beats busy work. Until next time, stay empowered, stay slacking. If you want to do a good deed of the day and help us grow the channel and bring you even more amazing content, leave us a comment, subscribe, leave us a review, do all the things. We'll see you guys next time.